This story kicks off by introducing Rakshasa Street, a special place that links the human world and the spirit world. Two brothers, Cheo Yanbing and his younger brother, Cheo Shenlian, are in charge of keeping things in check there. They've taken on the role of keeping humans out of the spirit world and making sure spirits don't escape into the human world, a duty they inherited from their late parents. Yanbing is like a tough spirit warrior who used to have a mighty guardian spirit called Eugene from his family. But one day, some mysterious people attacked him, and sadly, Eugene lost the battle and perished. Meanwhile, Xuanling's guardian spirit, Tung Leo, is an agile assassin, but even with his speed, he had a tough time dealing with the same group of people. Their attack weakened Rakshasa Street, and an evil organization wanted to take control of the place, putting the Keo brothers in a position where they had to defend their territory. At the human world, there's this girl named Xialing, who was working a part-time job in an office when she got a strange message from a guy named Longdu. He told her that evil spirits were after her and advised her to go to Rakshasa Street. At first, Xialing thought it was some kind of prank, but after she narrowly escaped a few life-threatening situations, she started to take it seriously. So, she decided to check out the address Longdao had given her. When she reached the front gate of a building, she went inside and, without realizing it, ended up in the spirit realm. She had no clue she was in a different world. She kept walking until she found the address the message mentioned, which belonged to the Keo brothers. Just as she met Yanbing in front of their house, a bunch of evil spirits showed up, seeking revenge because Yanbing had beaten them in a fight before. To protect Xialing, he told her to come inside while he dealt with the evil spirits. But the one after Xialing kept coming, and thankfully, Xuanling sensed it and stopped it in its tracks. Once they sorted out the commotion around their place, the Keo brothers explained Rakshasa Street to Xialing, who was pretty shocked by what she saw in the spirit world. Yanbing started thinking that maybe she had a guardian spirit inside her, which was why she could adapt to the spirit world. Meanwhile, over on the other side, an evil spirit named Ziwei showed up at the evil spirit's headquarters and scolded some of them, thinking they were all failing in their mission to beat the Keo brothers. The very next day, Rakshasa Street came under attack again by a mysterious group. This time, Xuanling had to deal with them all by himself, because his older brother was off investigating those evil spirits who had attacked them before. With the help of Tung Leo, Xuanling initially had no trouble defeating the group. But then, Kunpu, one of the evil spirits, showed up and Tung Leo seemed to struggle against Kunpu's powerful guardian spirit. After cornering Tung Leo, Kunpu revealed his goal, that he wanted to capture Tung Leo and destroy the Rakshasa Street tree. He even taunted Yanbing, saying that Yanbing couldn't save his little brother because Yanbing had lost his guardian spirit. This revelation hit Xuanling hard because he realized that Kunpu was the one who had taken down his older brother's guardian spirit. In the midst of all this, the injured Tung Leo kept protecting Xuanling and Xialing from Kunpu's guardian spirit until he passed out. Thankfully, Yanbing arrived just in time to rescue his younger brother and Tung Leo, who were on the verge of being taken by Kunpu. It turned out that Kunpu was part of a group sent by the kingdom to take control of the pagoda tree in Rakshasa Street. But when Yanbing let his guard down, Kunpu's guardian spirit swiftly attacked him and knocked him out. In his unconscious state, Yanbing was able to communicate with his second guardian spirit inside him. He summoned this new guardian spirit to save Xuanling. Yanbing's second guardian spirit easily defeated Kunpu's guardian spirit. However, they didn't notice that a ninja named Hattori Hanzo had arrived and took a sapling from the pagoda tree. Hanzo rescued Kunpu and slipped away from the scene without anyone noticing. Not long after Hanzo left, the pagoda tree suddenly exploded, sending a burst of light into the sky. Huangfu Longdu, who claimed to be Master Guy, showed up to stop the explosion using his guardian spirit's abilities. It dawned on Xialing that Longdu was the same mysterious man who had told her to come to Rakshasa Street. Inside the house, Longdu explained that he had come because he'd heard that Yanbing had this unique power that allowed him to have two guardian spirits. He also said that Xuanling had the potential to have 7 guardian spirits if he trained properly. Longdu also revealed that there were 12 pagoda trees in the spirit world, and they were very important for keeping the spirit world stable and preventing spirits from easily crossing over to the human world. That's why the Kingdom Group wanted to destroy all the pagoda trees, so they could get into the human world more easily to eliminate the spirit hosts and take their guardian spirits. The only way to stop this plan was to get back the sapling that Hanzo had stolen. Yan Bing was pretty surprised by all this info. He couldn't believe that Longdu knew so much, even about the group that had killed his guardian spirit. Yan Bing started suspecting Longdu might be a spy for the evil spirits, so he challenged him to a fight. He told Longdu reveal his true identity if he lost, but Longdu made it look easy and used his powers to push Yan Bing to the ground. The very next day, after Xiaoling had come back to the human world, Longdu tried to explain to the Kyo brothers that his only goal was to train Yan Bing to restore Rakshasa Street's stability. But their chat got cut short when Yan Bing's talisman, which signaled trouble in his area, went off. He had to rush off to deal with it. Out of the blue, Xiaoling's parents ended up going through the portal to the spirit world, and her mom even took a swipe at what she thought was an evil spirit figure. Yan Bing showed up and quickly took Xiaoling and her family to a safe spot. He erased the memories of all the humans who had entered the spirit world, but when it came to erasing Xiaoling's memories, something strange happened. Yan Bing found himself in her subconscious mind and met her guardian spirit, Li Yuan, who was chained up. The guardian spirit told Yan Bing not to erase Xiaoling's memories because she was a spirit host. So, Yan Bing decided not to erase her memories and sent them back to the human world. When they got back home, Longdu told Yan Bing that he had learned Xiaoling was a spirit host. He wanted to invite her on a journey to save the pagoda tree and help her train to unlock her abilities. At first, Yan Bing refused because he saw that Xiaoling's guardian spirit was bound, and that would make things complicated on their journey. But Longdu explained that Xiaoling's guardian spirit was powerful, so she needed training to set it free. Yan Bing still had doubts and was worried that Xiaoling might not be able to control her guardian spirit, so he turned down Longdu's offer and challenged him to a fight. At the same time, Xuanling secretly got in touch with Xiaoling and asked her to come to Rakshasa Street to stop the fight between his older brother and Longdu. When she got there, Xiaoling quickly put a stop to the fight. After hearing Longdu's explanation, she agreed to join their mission. But Yan Bing had to defeat Longdu if he didn't want her to come along. Yan Bing seemed like he was having a hard time with the fight. When he summoned his guardian spirit, Qian Shai, Xiaoling accidentally summoned her guardian spirit, Suan Yuan, who easily took down Qian Shai. So Yan Bing was considered beaten, and Xiaoling was allowed to join the quest to find the stolen sapling from the pagoda tree. Unfortunately, this made Xiaoling faint because her body wasn't used to the power of her strong guardian spirit. A little while later, before they set out on their mission, Yan Bing took a moment to honor the armor that his first guardian spirit had worn. He was determined to avenge the guardian spirit's death at the hands of the Kingdom Group and to get back the pagoda tree sapling. Then, they all headed off together, and Xuanling took on the job of guarding Rakshasa Street while his older brother was away. After traveling a good distance, Yan Bing and the others took a break by a lake, where they would train to get stronger. Longdu, as their teacher, started training Xiaoling to boost her physical strength. On the other side, the Spirit Kingdom started spreading the word that Yan Bing was a fugitive, trying to make him look guilty for destroying one of the 12 pagoda trees. At the same time, Hanzo was assigned by the kingdom to keep an eye on Yan Bing. With the help of her crow companion, Hanzo easily found out where Yan Bing and his group were and quickly got in touch with the bounty hunters, led by Zdaosin to hunt down the fugitive and his group. On the second day of their training, Yan Bing and Xiaoling quickly picked up a strategy about summoning and placing guardian spirits. Longdu explained that the first attack in a battle could really make a difference in defeating the enemy. Meanwhile, over at the Heroes Hall, a woman named Sui got a letter saying that Longdu, the most powerful spirit host, was back. When her companion, Shang Kunlun, heard this, he rushed off to find the guardian spirit. Back with Long Du, he was teaching Yan Bing an advanced technique where a spirit host could call back their guardian spirit in the middle of a battle with a single breath. Long Du said this was a pretty tough move, and only 1 out of every 10,000 spirit hosts could pull it off. Meanwhile, Xiaoling had managed to summon and keep her guardian spirit going for several minutes, but it drained her energy and left her really tired. Another time, when Xiaoling and Yan Bing were out hunting birds for dinner, Kunlun suddenly showed up. Yan Bing got suspicious, thinking that Kunlun might try to capture him because Kunlun had a wanted poster with his face on it, marking him as a fugitive. Yan Bing challenged Kunlun to a fight, but his guardian spirit's power couldn't match up to Kunlun's guardian spirit. Just as Kunlun was about to attack Yan Bing with his spear, Long Du showed up and stopped him. Kunlun introduced himself as the leader of the Heroes Hall and explained that he was searching for Long Du, who he thought was the most powerful spirit host. After taking care of Yan Bing's injuries, Long Du ended up fighting Kunlun, but he got defeated pretty easily. Kunlun then left, thinking Long Du wasn't the one he was looking for. According to Kunlun, the most powerful spirit host wouldn't be so easily beaten. Shortly after Kunlun left, a gang of bounty hunters arrived to capture Yan Bing, and Long Du asked his students' second guardian spirits to take them back to the human world. He got ready to deal with the group himself. That's when Long Du removed his face mask and eye patch, revealing that he was the most powerful spirit host with a headless war god as his guardian spirit. He had acted weak in front of Kunlun on purpose. With the power of his guardian spirit, Long Du defeated the bounty hunters. Hanzo, who saw it happen, quickly told Ziwei that all the bounty hunters were done for, except for Zhaoxin, who they called Master Spear. Back in the human world, Yan Bing, who had been unconscious earlier, blamed Xiaoling for not helping their master in the fight. They got into an argument and decided to go their separate ways. When Xiaoling got back to her campus dorm, she met her guardian spirit in a dream. The guardian spirit told her that humanity would be in trouble if she didn't find the pagoda tree sapling in Rakshasa Street. So, because of the dream, Xiaoling changed her mind and decided to help Yan Bing. While Yan Bing was still hanging around Xiaoling's dormitory, he ran into Zhaoxin, which led to a brawl in a sports building. Xiaoling sensed guardian spirits in the area and rushed to where Yan Bing and Zhaoxin were fighting. Just as Zhaoxin's guardian spirit was about to strike Yan Bing, Xiaoling arrived and stopped the attack. Yan Bing then used the breathing technique that Long Du had taught him to summon his guardian spirit, and he successfully defeated Zhaoxin and his guardian spirit. They captured Master Spear and questioned who had sent him to hunt down Yan Bing. Zhaoxin confessed that he was after Yan Bing for a reward and mentioned that Long Du was still alive. However, he kept Long Du's true identity a secret, as Long Du had requested when he spared Zhaoxin's life. The most powerful spirit host wanted to test Yan Bing's abilities when facing Master Spear. After finding out that his teacher was still alive, Yan Bing let Zhaoxin go. Meanwhile, Long Du, who was on Mysterious Cliff, was pleased to hear that Yan Bing had used the breathing technique to defeat Zhaoxin. He also hoped that Yan Bing would be willing to help him someday. The following day, Yan Bing and Xiaoling continued their journey to recover the stolen pagoda tree sapling taken by Hanzo. During a meal together, Yan Bing gave Xiaoling his mother's guardian costume to help her control her unstable guardian spirit powers more easily. After they finished eating, they decided to head to Yulin Street because they suspected that Hanzo's next target was to steal the power from the body tree in that area. When they arrived at Yulin Street, they tried to ask the locals about the body tree's whereabouts, but everyone they approached got scared when they heard about the tree. So Yan Bing and Xiaoling went to a tavern to take a break. Everyone in the tavern quickly ran away when they saw them, except for one guy who was willing to sell information for some cash. This guy, named Bei Jingswan, initially refused to share information about the body tree with Yan Bing. However, after witnessing Yan Bing's power easily defeat the tavern owner who tried to attack him, he changed his mind and revealed that the tree was in a forbidden place called Mean Jean Village. That village was known as the Evil Spirit's Hideout that had caused a lot of trouble in the Yulin region 5 years ago. With the help of Jing Zuan, Yan Bing and Xiaoling found their way to the entrance of Minjin village, covered in thick fog. When the villagers saw two strangers in their village, they quickly grabbed their weapons and chased Yan Bing and Xiaoling away. But a little girl named Chu Tong came up to them and asked for help in finding her friend who had left the village. Without thinking twice, Yan Bing and Chu Tong left the village right away, while Xiaoling stayed behind to convince the villagers that she meant no harm. Sometime later, Yan Bing found Chu Tong's unconscious friend at the market, so he brought her back to the village. After the friend woke up, Xiaoling asked why the villagers were so scared of outsiders. The little girl explained about UFO known as General Men and General Men, who warned all the villagers not to leave the village because there were many evil spirits and strange diseases outside that could harm them. Because of this, none of the villagers dared to venture out of the village. Before long, General Men showed up to meet Yan Bing and Xiaoling, holding Yan Bing's wanted poster. He said he didn't want to deal with a fugitive. As a way of thanking them for helping one of the villagers, General Men asked Yan Bing and Xiaoling to leave the village peacefully. But General Men was known for being an exceptional fighter and didn't hesitate to punish those who broke the law in his territory. Yan Bing, not happy with how General Men was treating him, challenged him to a fight. They couldn't fight openly, though, because they didn't want to do it in front of Chu Tong and her friend. So, to keep their fight secret, the two warriors pretended to be playing when the two little girls looked their way. So, they decided to stop the fight and sat down to have dinner together. It seemed like a competition between the two rivals to see who could eat more food. They ate so much that Hanzo, who was hiding below the room, got hit by the vomit from Yan Bing and General Men as they overindulged. In their messy state, Hanzo reported what she had found out to UFO and Ziwei about Yan Bing being in Yulin Street and meeting General Men. The next day, Yan Bing and Xiaoling were surprised to find that the people in Minjin village had turned into zombies all of a sudden. Yan Bing hesitated to attack them and wondered what had happened to them. Just before the villagers could attack Yan Bing and Xiaoling, UFO showed up, rang his bell, and led the zombies away. Soon after, General Men arrived, and because Yan Bing felt that something bad had happened to the villagers, he urged Xiaoling to leave the village right away. That evening, UFO was seen using the energy from the body tree and ringing his bell to heal all the villagers, eventually bringing them back to their senses. On another occasion, Yan Bing tracked Hanzo down through a tracking device he had put on Hanzo when he realized she was spying on him. When Yan Bing entered Hanzo's in-room, he saw her taking a bath and was surprised to find out that Hanzo was actually a woman. Yan Bing tried to cover his eyes, but Hanzo used the opportunity to escape. The next day, while Yan Bing and Xiaoling were having a chat, Xiaoling suddenly felt a sharp pain in her shoulder. It turned out that she had been bitten by Chu Tong, who had become a zombie in Minjin village. The bite had some poison in it, and Xiaoling fainted. Luckily, her guardian spirit came out and sucked some of the poison out of the bite. When Xiaoling woke up, Yan Bing quickly took her back to the inn on Yulin Street to meet with Jing Zuan. He wanted to get more information about Minjin village and find a way to heal Xiaoling's wound. Xiaoling showed Jing Zuan the bite from the zombie in Minjin village, and the information seller told them about a healer who could help. Yan Bing also asked about the weird stuff happening in the village and mentioned their encounters with UFO and General Men. Jing Zuan explained that UFO was not just anyone, but a high-ranking general in the Spirit Armor Forces. After getting the information they needed, Yan Bing and Xiaoling left the inn to visit the healer. Before long, Jiao Xin showed up and asked Jing Zuan where Yan Bing was, offering a big reward. But Jing Zuan refused to tell him, even though Master Spear was willing to pay. Unfortunately, Ziwei spoiled Jing Zuan's plan to protect Yan Bing by telling Jiao Xin that Yan Bing was going to see a healer. Meanwhile, Yan Bing and Xiaoling had arrived at their destination, but it was strangely deserted. Out of nowhere, a zombie that looked like the ones in Minjin village appeared and came running at them. Just as they were about to go after the fleeing zombie, Jiao Xin blocked their way. So Yan Bing asked Xiaoling to chase the female zombie while he dealt with Xiaoxin. Unfortunately, Xialing hadn't fully recovered from the zombie poison, and she ended up fainting while chasing the zombie. At the same time, Yanbing defeated Xiaoxin and reminded him that a guardian spirit was more than just a tool, because the lives of the host and the guardian spirit were connected. When Xialing woke up, she found herself in a cave surrounded by mysterious people. But when she called on her guardian spirit, it told her that there was no evil energy coming from these people and advised her to rest. Sometime later, Yanbing found Xialing lying in an alley with her zombie bite wound now healed. They also encountered the female zombie from earlier, and Yanbing quickly shot her, seeing her as a threat. Before the zombie died, she pointed to a bag under Xialing, which had a secret letter inside, but Yanbing and Xialing couldn't understand its contents. They then went to the inn to find Jingzuan, but he was nowhere to be found. When Yanbing asked the innkeeper about him, the innkeeper's behavior seemed suspicious. So they followed the innkeeper and discovered that it was Hanzo, who had been using a face-changing technique to disguise herself. They also learned that Hanzo had captured Jingzuan and injected him with a potion that made him lose his sanity and try to attack Yanbing when he came to rescue him. Yanbing chased after Hanzo as she tried to escape and eventually caught and subdued her. Seeing Hanzo, Yanbing realized that she wasn't inherently evil, but had joined the wrong group. Meanwhile, Jingzuan found himself captured by Ziwei again. She injected him with the potion multiple times and even stabbed him, causing him to heal quickly but suffer from accelerated aging as a side effect. What Ziwei didn't know was that Jingzuan had been trying to help the people of Minjin village with Yanbing's assistance. When asked about the missing villagers, Jingzuan refused to talk until Yanbing unexpectedly rescued him. Unfortunately, the repeated stabbings had transformed Jingzuan into an elderly, frail man. He asked Yanbing to take him to the cave where Xialing had received treatment earlier. In the cave, Jingzuan summoned the cave dwellers, who were survivors from Minjin village that had managed to escape. Yanbing realized that the people he had encountered earlier in Minjin village were not native to the spirit realm. They had been intentionally abducted from the human world and placed in the village as experimental subjects. Jingzuan then recounted the origins of the disaster in Minjin village. People sought healing in the village, and one day, Jingzuan encountered Yufo, who was on the brink of death with numerous wounds. Jingzuan requested that the village head allow Yufo to be healed at the body tree, but the village head initially refused due to ancestral rules. However, as Yufu's condition worsened, the village head eventually agreed, with the condition that Yufo's memories be erased, just like all outsiders who received treatment there. With the body tree's help, Yufo recovered and revealed himself as a general of the Spirit Armor Corps who had been injured while fighting criminals. Learning about Minjin village's healing abilities, he had chosen to seek help there. The village head was surprised by Yufo's confession because outsiders were not supposed to know anything about their village, and their memories were always wiped before leaving. After several days of meditation to recover his body, Yufo was permitted to leave the village. The village authorities asked Jingzuan to erase the general's memories, and everything seemed to be going smoothly. Jingzuan and his little brother accompanied Yufo to the village's border. However, something strange happened. Jingzuan suddenly asked his little brother to return home early, saying he wanted to play a farewell tune for the general. Shortly after his little brother left, Jingzuan didn't actually erase Yufo's memories completely. During the general's stay in the village, he shared incredible stories from the outside world and promised to show Jingzuan the world beyond. Deceptively, Jingzuan quietly left the village with the general, unaware that it was all a trap. Yufo returned to the village and attacked all the villagers with his spirit armor troops. Once Yufo had taken control of the village, he and the kingdom's forces turned the villagers into test subjects. They experimented with various concoctions and harnessed the power of the body tree to repeatedly heal the villagers, allowing them to test their potions multiple times. Additionally, it was revealed that Jingzuan's younger brother was the one who had tried to harm Xialing and lured her into the spirit world earlier. He had been injected with a potion that could extract the power of disappearance from the spirit hosts, with a side effect of memory loss, which eventually led him to obey all of Yufo's orders. The general exploited him to abduct humans and take them to the spirit world. At one point, the body tree bore fruit every few years, and these fruits transformed into guardian spirits in the form of monkey-like humans. The village head, who knew about this, took the opportunity to escape from the village and hide in a cave. Yufo and his troops were busy dealing with the rampaging guardian spirit of the tree. Inside the cave, they administered the stolen potion to resist the spirit armor troops and protect the cave. When all the villagers took the potion, the village head instructed Jing Xuan to deliver a secret letter to the descendants of the village's former leader. Using his power, the village head made the writing disappear, visible only to the original descendants of the Mean Jin village leader who had long vanished. In his weakened state, Jing Xuan confessed that Yufo had also killed the former spirit general of Yulin Street and appointed men as his successor. Jing Xuan then asked Yanbing for help in saving his village from Yufo and finding the true descendants of their clan leader. After finishing his statement, Jing Xuan finally passed away due to being unable to withstand all the injuries on his body. On the other hand, Xiaoling, who had been separated from Yanbing earlier, returned to Minjin village to care for the sick Chutong. When Xiaoling accidentally placed the letter from the village head near Chutong, the young girl unexpectedly touched the paper and made the letter readable. Unfortunately, Xiaoling didn't have a chance to read it because Men and Yufo came to ask her to return to the human world before a major attack from the kingdom's group. Hearing that, Xiaoling agreed, and that night, Men escorted her back. On their way, they encountered Yanbing, so she bid him farewell while handing over the secret letter she was holding. At that moment, Yanbing asked her never to return to the spirit world, and he even spoke to Xiaoling's guardian spirit, mentioning that he knew why the spirit was chained, because he would control Xiaoling if she couldn't control her guardian spirit. Unfortunately, Yanbing couldn't express his concern to Xiaoling, and instead he grumbled, which irritated her, causing her to leave him behind. Meanwhile, men who knew that Yanbing was going to Minjin village tried to stop the young man, leading to a confrontation between them. At the same time, Yufo and the kingdom's forces had arrived in Minjin village, killing all the villagers and devastating the area. Yufo then began his mission to take the highest fruit and destroy the body tree by setting it on fire. Returning to the fight between Men and Yanbing, when they both saw the blaze consuming the body tree, they stopped their fight and hurried to the village, only to be shocked by the dead villagers and the destroyed houses. Seeing Men distraught by the situation, Yanbing finally realized that the general didn't know Yufo's true plan. When they both confronted Yufo and the kingdom's forces, a disappointed Men intended to attack Yufo, but Ziwei suddenly brought Chutong, their hostage, and restored the girl's memories, leading her to call Men her father. Men then realized that he was Chutong's biological father before they both entered the spirit world. Concerned for his daughter's safety, Men chose not to attack the kidnappers. Meanwhile, Yanbing decided to confront Yufo alone when he was suddenly attacked from behind by Men out of fear for his daughter's safety. Yanbing was then captured by Hanzhou, while Men was captured by Yufo. Unexpectedly, the power of the highest fruit of the body tree, which had been hidden within Men all along, was unknown to Men. Yufo exploited this, waiting for the right moment to extract that power from Men's body. As for Hanzhou, who was taking Yanbing to the execution site under the escort of the kingdom's forces, during their journey, their procession was intercepted and attacked by the original inhabitants of Minjin village who had become zombies. Hanzhou and her troops easily defeated the villagers. In the midst of the battle, Yanbing, who saw Jing Xuan's younger brother named Bai Lu, attempted to awaken him until Bai Lu realized that he was one of the villagers of Minjin village. While they were both off guard, unexpectedly, the kingdom's forces attacked them, severely injuring Yanbing, who was then carried on a stretcher by the villagers to their hiding place for treatment. Sometime later, Zhao Xin and Bai Lu went to the human world to find Xiaoling and inform her about Yanbing's critical condition, urging her to hurry to save him. Upon arriving at the hiding place of the original Minjin village inhabitants, Xiaoling saw Yanbing, who was now helpless. Meanwhile, in Yanbing's subconscious, he appeared to be conversing with his guardian spirit, acknowledging that he wouldn't survive after receiving an attack from Hanzo's guardian spirit. Nevertheless, Qian Shai tried to encourage his host to stay strong. Turning to Men, who was confined in a room, he seemed to have recalled everything about himself and how he entered the spirit world. In the past, Men was a human police officer. One day, he was assigned an undercover mission to capture a mafia boss. But unfortunately, Men ended up killing the mafia member, infuriating many other mafia bosses. Sometime later, as Men was about to celebrate Chu Tong's birthday, he received a mission call, reluctantly leaving his daughter behind to carry out his duty. Unexpectedly, this mission call turned out to be a trap set by his corrupt superiors, leading to Men being kidnapped and brutally beaten, and he was locked in a room for several days. On the other hand, Chu Tong, left alone in her room, eventually became weak from days of not eating. When Men had lost all hope, Yufo arrived to save him by providing a pill. After Men had recovered, he rushed to check on his daughter, who was now unconscious, and Yufo asked Men to take his daughter to the spirit world for her salvation, as she was not a spirit host like Men. Without hesitation, Men agreed, even though it meant giving up his former identity as a human. Meanwhile, Yan Bing began to give up, believing he wouldn't survive with his shattered bones. However, Javesin tried to help by asking Sha Ling to thrust his spear into Yan Bing's chest to transfer the soul power of her guardian spirit into Yan Bing's body, enabling him to survive. Unexpectedly, this action caused Yan Bing to awaken another guardian spirit named Tian Wei after being triggered by the spear that had killed him centuries ago. With the awakening of this guardian spirit, Yan Bing's body accelerated its healing and regenerative abilities, and the people waiting for Yan Bing could sense the presence of two guardian spirits within his body. After Yan Bing regained consciousness, he explained the current situation and planned to go to Yufo's headquarters to save Men and retrieve the pagoda tree sprout. The next day, along with Jiaoxin and Sha Ling, Yan Bing began his journey to the kingdom's headquarters. Meanwhile, Yufo seemed prepared for Yan Bing's arrival, ordering his subordinates to intercept Yan Bing. He also instructed other soldiers to extract the highest fruit from Men's body. Upon Yan Bing and the others' arrival at the kingdom's gates, they had to confront the spirit-armored soldiers. However, with the power of his two guardian spirits, Yan Bing easily defeated them all and entered the kingdom's territory. After successfully rescuing Chu Tong and the others and meeting Men, they realized that Yufo had taken the highest fruit from Men's body, causing the general to be on the verge of death as his spirit had separated from his body. Sha Ling then informed them about the secret letter that had briefly revealed its contents when accidentally touched by Chu Tong, leading them to assume that Men was a descendant of the Mean Jin village clan leader. Without much delay, she gave the letter to Men, and as they suspected, the letter reacted, releasing the stored power within it, which revived Men and restored his abilities. Shortly after, Men and Yan Bing set out to find Yufo, while Jiaoxin and Sha Ling escorted Chu Tong and her friend away from the area. Upon reaching a gate, Men and Yan Bing were confronted by one of Yufo's subordinates, prompting Men to ask Yan Bing to continue the journey as he would face Yufo's subordinate. Using his guardian spirit's monkey human form, Men began to battle the swordsman in front of him. At the same time, Yan Bing was confronted by Hanzo, but due to having greater power with two guardian spirits, he easily defeated her. Yan Bing then continued his journey until he could meet and challenge Yufo to a fight in order to reclaim the pagoda tree sprout growing on Rakshasa Street. Returning to Jiaoxin and Sha Ling, both of them had to confront Ziwei, who could incapacitate the master of the spear, and had targeted Sha Ling, reopening her erased memories by Yan Bing. With these memories, Chuan Yuan, initially sealed, was able to break free and manifest as an evil alter ego. Sha Ling's guardian spirit then attacked Ziwei, causing her to faint and attempting to harm the two young girls in the room. Jiaoxin tried to persuade Sha Ling to leave, as he had been warned by Longdu about Sha Ling's two-sided guardian spirit. However, she still tried to hinder Xuan Yuan, who had attacked Jiaoxin. Fortunately, Kun Lun and Sui are arrived to subdue Xuan Yuan, and just before Kun Lun finished her off, Xiaoling attempted to awaken her guardian spirit, eventually turning Xuan Yuan back into a benevolent form within her body. After confirming that the situation was safe, Kun Lun and Sui are decided to leave. Meanwhile, Yan Bing, facing Yu Fo, who claimed not to be a spirit host and used soldiers from the pills to confront his opponents. Yan Bing fought against dozens of these soldiers until he summoned his guardian spirit, Tian Wei, and cornered Yu Fo. Yan Bing then asked Yu Fo to return the stolen pagoda tree sprout, but Yu Fo instead consumed it. Shortly after, a coffin appeared, and Chao Yanmin, Yan Bing's father, who had passed away over a decade ago, emerged from it. Yan Bing was shocked to see him, but unfortunately, even though the figure before him was his father, Yan Ming attacked his son using his 4 guardian spirits as he had been possessed by Yu Fo. With the power of Yan Ming, Yan Bing was overpowered and rendered unconscious after his father's attack. In Yan Bing's subconscious, he met his 2 guardian spirits and the spirit of Eugene, who had passed away. They showed him the memories that Yu Fo had erased. Yan Bing finally learned that his father hadn't died in a car accident, but was kidnapped by Yu Fo, who had been after the pagoda tree sprout for a long time. Yu Fo intentionally left Yan Bing and Xuan Lang to protect the tree until it sprouted. Eugene explained that Yan Ming's body had been taken over by Yu Fo and revealed the existence of 5 dormant guardian spirits within Yan Bing's body that needed to be awakened. With the help of his guardian spirits, Yan Bing managed to awaken 2 more guardian spirits, allowing him to confront his possessed father. Unfortunately, because Yu Fo wasn't used to Yan Ming's body and powers, he was eventually cornered by Yan Bing, and the pagoda tree sprout emerged from his body. After the sprout emerged, Yu Fo couldn't control Yan Ming's body and appeared as a maggot. Once Yan Ming's guardian spirit returned, the awakened Yan Ming instructed his son to capture the maggot. At the same time, Kun Lun arrived with Sui R and stepped on Yu Fo while taking the pagoda tree sprout from Yan Bing. He challenged Yan Bing to retrieve the sprout and fight him at the Hero's Hall once he had managed to summon all 7 guardian spirits. Near the kingdom's gates, Kun Lun and Sui are met Yu Fo's subordinate, Yingfeng, who had taken the highest fruit from the body tree and revealed himself as a spy in the same group as Long Du. Yingfeng challenged Kun Lun to come to him if the Hero's Hall leader truly wanted the highest fruit. Back to Yan Bing and his father. Before taking his last breath, Yan Ming revealed that the person who had harmed him in the past was one of the 10 highest knights of the kingdom. He asked his son to seek vengeance and thwart the kingdom's evil plans. Meanwhile, Long Du was seen with Yingfeng and Xiao Xin, instructing Yingfeng to heal Chu Tong, who had been affected by Yu Fo's potion. Xiao Xin, who had become Long Du's disciple, was tasked with delivering a message to Yan Bing. In the final part of the story, Yan Bing had recently laid his father to rest, and he, along with Men and Xiaoling, paid their last respects. Then Xiao Xin arrived with a message from Long Du, revealing that everything they had learned earlier was just the start of a big adventure yet to come. After hearing this, Yan Bing decided to continue his journey with Xiaoling and Men, who were also determined to seek revenge against the kingdom's group. The moral of the story is, life is like a wild adventure with zombies, guardian spirits, and surprising turns. So be prepared for exciting journeys and stand up for yourself when necessary.